Welcome to Blue Monday, an Ipswich Town podcast for the Rewind Show, where we look forward to looking back at some of the last times we played this weekend's upcoming opponents. Hello, my name's Craig Fimbo. Welcome back to the Blue Monday Rewind Show, where we look at the last time we played this weekend's forthcoming opponents in the top division and more games from the not-so-distant past. This is my third time lucky of introducing you to the Blue Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday build-up to the weekend. Logistical anomalies meant last week we went out on Wednesday rather than Tuesday. And as a result, Dave probably missed out on 10,000 views straight.
I think we did. Disappointing that, Craig. Disappointing, yeah. But at least we're now getting back into what are these 3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs? What's going on?
Yeah, 2 in a row.
And I think a few more upcoming as well, I think.
Yeah. So, Dave, Southampton at home. Everyone knows, unfortunately, everyone's probably going to know what match and specifically what goal we need to talk about. We're contractually obliged to talk about in a little bit.
The Finidi George blockbuster, you mean?
Yes, that's it, yeah. Took the hooks off the net as it slammed past the goalkeeper. As ever, do comment and let us know if you're at these games, any memories from these games. Obviously, especially if you were there, give us a thumbs up. Like, subscribe, help us out, etc. Season 2001-2002, Dave, our old friend, we have spoken about it a few times now.
I think I'm almost getting to the point where a specialist subject mastermind 2001-2002 season, albeit maybe not the films. Was that not 2001-2? No, that was a bit before, wasn't it?
I thought you were going to say in terms of getting over your PTSD, and we've talked about this so much. We've got through joint therapy.
I think we almost need to, don't we? Goodness me! But hey, there you go.
Light some incense candles, because in terms of nails in coffins, there weren't many more to bang in to the coffin of this season, Dave. Were there? Once we'd played our friends at Southampton.
No, there really wasn't. No. We were, we were up against it after that. I can safely say.
Saturday, March the 2nd, 2002, we were at number 1 in the charts, Dave. We had a run of these, new in at number 1. It used to be a rarity, didn't it? Straight in at number 1. It's a massive thing.
Never happened. No. The only one, it was a few I can remember back in my youth when I was swimming. Going underground by the Jam was one. That was really unusual. That was like back 1980, and it just never happened.
No. Well, this did, and it was their 10th number 1 single, but only reached number 2 in Ireland. There's a clue for you.
That might be a clue. I assume it's Westlife.
It is Westlife.
I wouldn't even. Couldn't name. I probably could if I don't know. Go on. What is it?
It's called World of Our Own.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I recognised the chorus. If you were to sing it to me, Dave, don't.
Yeah.
But if you,
I won't because I don't. But I couldn't. I don't think. But yeah, I know that. I certainly know the title.
Part written by Simon Climie of Climie Fisher.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Love changes. Love changes every. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Not the Michael Ball version.
Great band.
Now, in our previous match, we'd lost heavily to Liverpool, believe it or not. echoes of the previous season.
Yeah.
Albeit at home 6-0 and albeit 3 weeks previous. Because the week previous, we'd had I'm going to say the word jolly. We'd gone to Cyprus for some warm weather training, apparently. And played a charity match at an air base in Cyprus.
I love this.
For the Army Benevolent Fund against a Russian Premier League team, Alania, Vladikavkaz.
All right, yeah, I heard of them. Yeah, I'm sure they've been in the UEFA Cup in a distant past, yeah.
We won 2-1. Finidi and Pablo scored, so they're probably very much enjoying the Cypriot sunshine. So
yeah, you would think, given the identity of those two scorers, with the sun on their backs, they were different class, yeah.
Yeah. But sadly, that little break didn't do too much to our form. In terms of the table, I shall flick it up for you. In terms of the table, positionally, it's not looking too badly, although it's a bit condensed towards the bottom of the league, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we've done every single week, we've spoken about this, particularly after the turn of the year. We're on the back of a thumping Liverpool defeat, but on the back of of those 8 wins, 7 had come in about, we've said before, 8 games, hadn't they? So we were, we're on the back of a big old thumping defeat. We were, they'd hauled us up the league.
Yeah,
So hang on, 5 points from safety. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. I say, for those of people who are listening, we were in 15th position with 30 points, and Blackburn were in the relegation spots on 25. So we had two teams beneath us, between us and the relegation spots. And as Dave says, 5 points between us and relegation spots. Although, bizarrely, I don't know if you picked up on it from looking at bits and pieces, that like the narrative was still really negative and about us going down and really struggling and being in a rut and things like that. You think, well, the table didn't really.
I think it was, again, I think it's perhaps just a spillover from the stupid success from the previous season, probably, wasn't it? Again, we've seen it this season to a degree, expectation levels and stuff. I think there's perhaps a degree of that, yeah.
Yeah, very possibly. In terms of cover star of the week, Ipswich Town player, I'm going to use the phrase more clubs than Jack Nicklaus.
Oh, God. Hang on, I'm looking through. Who's playing? More clubs than Jack. Oh, Marcus Bent. Of course it was. Yeah.
And as you've mentioned before about the It's Football magazine, he was also the cover star of the.
Yeah, I remember that one. Can remember that cover, definitely. Yeah.
Marcus. So let's talk about the match. We lost 3-1, didn't we, Dave? We'll get the lineups here. In terms of our lineup, as we've spoken about many times before about this season, that looks like a decent lineup to me, and not a million miles away from the lineup which managed 5th the previous season.
You've got to say a very potent front two there. Marcus Bent, again, I think we said was player of the month for January, was it? I think we'd said just scored I think it was 8 goals in 10 games or something like that. Just reading some notes on this, I think McGreal was suspended, so Titus Bramble had come in for McGreal. But no, other than that, you would think solid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Fanidi had just come back from the African nations as well, so he was
right
via Cyprus.
Absolutely flying for it, wasn't he?
So his air miles were.
There we go. Now this is
in terms of Southampton's team. There's probably a name in the centre of midfield which rings a bell with some of our younger viewers and listeners. Delap Senior was playing. Wayne Bridge, left back.
Yeah, went on the big move. Chelsea. Yeah.
They were missing their 2 strikers, Beattie and Pahars. Their normal front 2 were both,
of course,
injured. So therefore,
again, just looking at notes, that's Brett Ormrod. I think that was his debut, and presumably that's Kevin Davis, is it? Must be.
Yeah, you would have thought so. So not a bad 2.
No experience there. Matt Oakley, I think, on the right. Is that Anders Svensson?
Yeah, it might be Anders Svensson. Yeah.
Williams, I might struggle with. Is that Paul? Don't know.
Telfer.
Paul Telfer. Yeah.
Yeah. So
but no, you looking at that side, you would think and looking at our lineup, a beatable side. You think?
Yeah, you would think so. No disrespect to Southampton, they look very much a functional team, whereas we looked with a little bit more stars.
I think Strachan would have been manager by then, perhaps.
Yes, I've got it noted down here somewhere who the manager was. Yes, it was Strachan. Yeah. In terms of goal action, there wasn't an awful lot happened in the first half by all accounts. The nearest either side came to fashioning an opportunity, according to the report, was from goalkeeping errors. Now, let me just get the Ipswich Town team up again, and you can make your own.
Stop it now! Come on now.
Your own mind up about that.
Come on.
But yeah, so second half, Dave, things collapsed a little bit, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, I can recall because I can just recall the goal, which is not this goal. And it's Delap Senior notches, and again on my notes of this game, his typical against Ipswich, his first goal in 3,230 minutes of football, apparently. So just to describe this goal, Southampton have a throw on the halfway line. Rory Delap sprints over,
Threw it
launches
over
one
the
in the
north
box,
stand.
follows it in. No, he doesn't. According to it's a free kick and quite a well worked free kick, I think. Ends up, I think the ball somehow deflects through to Delap, who finds himself in space and unfortunately slips it past Marshall for 1-0. Yeah, not long after half time, 52 minutes.
Yeah, and not long after 1-0, 10 or so minutes, it becomes 2.
Yeah,
From
Brett
the
Ormerod on his
aforementioned.
debuts, played through and hits a cross shot past Marshall. Yeah, all very straightforward, and yeah, I can almost hear the collective groans now, probably.
Yeah, the report I've got it says both Hryderson and Bramble were nowhere to be seen, and that seems to be a common thing. When we've looked back at goals on this season, there's a lot of space and a lot of people looking at each other.
Yeah, your man
arms in the air.
after you. Yeah,
Yes,
there was a bit of
100%.
that.
Now, one of the goals we did get to see, we got to so that's 2-0 heading into the 82nd minute, and as we sort of referenced previously, this Finidi blockbuster. And I'm not having seen
No, I'm not sure. I think VAR, no,
VAR.
or the refs watch. The refs watch. No, I'm not sure about this one.
The refs watch isn't buzzing for this one, is it, Dave?
I don't think so. It's an in-swinging corner, usual brilliant in-swinging corner from Venus. I think Jones punches it out to the edge of the box. Holland sort of like almost shanks a volley back into the box, doesn't he? And it's not a pretty goal. And it finds its way to Finidi about 3 yards out, 3 or 4 yards out. And it really doesn't make any contact at all, but does make, it really doesn't, some sort of really soft contact. And as it rolls in, I think it's a combination of obviously Jones, the keeper, and I can't quite see, it might have been Lunik Varm, one of the centre halves, trying to keep it out. But there's a really good close up. So there is, back then, there was sort of cameras that were pretty much on the goal line. And yeah, I'm not convinced all the ball's over there. I think that there's a bit of, a little bit of sympathy from the ref there, I think.
I'm not convinced an awful lot of the ball was over the
It doesn't
line.
look like it. No.
Well,
no, not conclusive. I'd say not conclusive.
No, very diplomatically put. Yeah, it wasn't conclusive. But no, it didn't look like cross line. So it's 2-1, 82 minutes.
Hopeful. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, let's get last 10 minutes, get the crowd up, etc. Didn't happen. 88 minutes, the goal, I think the goal, people's minds have sort of played tricks with them a little bit, and it's turned into a bit of a John Barnes, Diego Maradona wobble around half a dozen players.
So the funny thing about this goal, he picks it up. I think he turns inside Matt Holland, sort of halfway and a half.
That's a decent turn, to be fair.
He chops inside, but he basically runs in a diagonal, let's say diagonal straight. He runs diagonally, but in a straight line.
Yes, he does not deviate from the straight, does he?
And I don't think he really drops his shoulder. There's no drop shoulder. There's no Ronaldo step over. There's nothing really. He just runs in a straight line. And you spoke about, what a thing in this season of defenders saying, "Oh, your man. Oh no, after you." Well, it really was a case, and he's able to sort of. It's an incredible goal, really, because he just runs in a diagonal straight line, gets pretty much to obviously in the box, and just runs past Marshall as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just plants it in.
Yeah, and even then, we're talking about Finidi George not exactly blasting the net with his shot.
Oh, he just rolls it in.
Yeah, only barely scuffs it over the line even then. But yeah, it's just a remarkable goal. He literally runs in a straight line to like the opposite corner of the 6-yard box, doesn't he?
Exactly. It is a bizarre goal. When you're right, what you said. When you think, oh yeah, it must have been a good goal. He must have dropped his shoulder and gave. I think maybe he gave defenders the eyes, but we didn't see it. He just kept going, and yeah, it's a soft goal, which I think is safe to say, perhaps knocked the stuffing out of us for rest of the season. Probably that defeat. Because I think on the back of that Liverpool thing, you think, okay. I hate to say it.
Careful, Dave.
I'm not saying it, but and it just never really happened. Yeah. So
on the back of a heavy Liverpool defeat, it's a must-win Southampton game at home.
You've said it now. Yeah.
Apparently, there was a section of the crowd, again, according to the report I saw, a section of the crowd sarcastically chanted, "Cyprus, what a great idea." Now, I can't see what tune that scans into, but apparently that was the case.
Perhaps they weren't quite so tuneful back in those days, but
Yeah,
okay.
didn't have Ed Sheeran in the crowd.
Didn't have Ed,
so
did they? Obviously, didn't have Ed.
In terms
Oh
of
dear.
the league, it's starting to look a little bit more scary. We've dropped a position. Everton, perennial survivors, have overtaken us. We've now only got Bolton between us and the relegation spots, and only 4 points behind.
That turned out well,
4
didn't
points
it?
ahead.
Yeah.
The slide was well and truly in place at this.
I think another thing we have spotted from this season, other than the Liverpool tanking. I don't know. We had a 5-0 in there against Sunderland, but yeah, we lost just loads of games by the early part of that season. Just bloody loads of games by the odd goal. We've said that before, haven't we?
Yeah, and actually, subsequent to this game, it would be another 9 games until we'd win a match. By which time we're doomed.
Our goose had been cooked.
Very much.
Exactly.
Whereas the aforementioned Gordon Strachan, as you said, Dave, was in charge of Southampton, and no disrespect, we said it just now about the team that he'd put out. He got them to finish where they were in the table at this point in time, 11th in the table, which is that's a hell of a result.
Again, something else we picked on before. Look at the number of wins as opposed to draws. There, lost 14, lost more games than we have, 14 games, but didn't draw many. Yeah,
very good point. Wonderful stuff. Well
good
done
stuff
to us for getting through that. Quick word from our good friends at Atwells, and we shall be straight back to talk Alex Mathie.
Blue Monday is proudly brought to you in partnership with our friends at Atwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for work on property or business law. Their client care has repeatedly been recognised as outstanding, and they are people-focused with a plain English approach which sets them apart. They have offices in Ipswich, Colchester and London, and to find out more, head to atwells.com.
Thank you to Atwells. Thank you to All About Hearing, Suffolk-based hearing care professionals, 2 locations in Ipswich, help you out. If you have any personal hearing needs, allabouthearing.co.uk. Thank you to them. Thank you, as we always say, to One Stop Badges, purveyors of pin badges, etc., etc. I think we've still got a discount going on, Dave. Details will be in the pod description and on our website, ITFC.co.uk, for all that information as well. So thank you to everyone for their support. Saturday, the 25th of February, 1995, Dave.
I'm just staggered. I know we have covered this season 30 years ago, nearly. I mean, it is crazy when you think about it. But yeah, Southampton at home. Yes,
I know you spoke about Gordon Strachan being Southampton manager of the previous iteration. This version of Southampton, managed by a gentleman who spoke very highly about everybody, Alan Ball.
Alan Ball, died one of the first of the '66 to die died quite young. Alan Ball, didn't he?
Dave, keep it light.
No. Just thinking about it. Yeah. Just of course you forget about Alan Ball, but obviously we'll get onto the Southampton side, which has got a good bit of narrative to it anyway.
Yes, well, we'll quickly talk about number one.
Go on.
Canadian songstress spent probably a lot of time and earned a lot of money in Las Vegas over the years. I was for singing. I would not gambling or anything else.
Oh, I see what you mean. All right, yeah. Clue. I need more than
Canadian singer whose residency's in Las Vegas. Come on, mate.
She's.
Don't think twice about it, Dave.
Oh, Celine Dion.
Correct.
Oh.
Think Twice by Celine Dion.
Of course.
Right, in terms of the league table, let's pop that up for you. This was about 5 or 6 matches after the Adam Tanner match we spoke about last week. We hadn't subsequently won any of those 5 or 6 matches after the Adam Tanner match we spoke about last week. But we found ourselves towards the bottom of the league, shall we say, rock bottom of the league. 22nd out of 22, 20 points from our 28 league games.
10 points adrift. Not looking good, was it? Not
10
looking
points
good.
from safety. No. No, it wasn't.
Ooh, yeah.
Things weren't looking rosy.
As we've said all along about this season, it was a season, we should have been down. Obviously, we got saved the last kick of the game by Mark Steen, wasn't it? The season before. So really, we should have been down. But yeah, we had to endure the pain of this season. But who knows? Who knows? We might not had the other thing happen at the time it did. We might not have had George Burley when he came in.
Yeah, exactly that. George had only been in charge December. We're now in
weeks.
February. Yeah, exactly that. In terms of cover star on the programme, this gentleman was a victim of the News of the World phone hacking scandal.
Oh, it's got to be Lee Chapman, hasn't it? It's got to be Lee Chapman.
It's got to be Lee Chapman.
Who's
that next to him?
Chris Coleman, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'd say.
I think it is. I think it's a very
great shirt. Like that Palace shirt. You like that one?
What, the red and blue striped one?
Yeah. No, doesn't do it for you.
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
I quite like that one.
TDK, yeah. What are TDK famous for doing?
Oh, bloody hell. Cassettes, man. Cassettes. Come on. For those youngsters out there.
Fantastic.
Take that top 40 on a Sunday.
Right, in terms of lineups. Now, I've got the lineup like this because we had 3 strikers. But listening to an interview that Rich found us, a post-match interview with Alex Matthew.
Yeah,
Alex suggested that he started wide. I can only assume started wide on the right because Gavin Johnson's playing, and then at half time, Ian Marshall was taken off, and Matthew went up front with Chapman.
That interview, he almost says, in the first half, we just kept getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
It's almost like that, wasn't it?
And he'd only signed the day before.
Yeah.
So that might suggest why they were all getting in the other's way, because they didn't have a clue who the hell he was.
Yeah. Chapman had come in a few weeks before, perhaps. Yeah, fairly recently.
Yeah, that's right. I think that was about 5 days after that Liverpool match we spoke about. So, yeah, a week or so after Liverpool, and this was, I say, 5 games after that Liverpool game. So, yeah, he was still embedding himself into the team as well. So it's Matthew's debut appearance signed the day before. And I think the reason why we're talking about Alex Matthew and Lee Chapman both being signed in this month or so period is because we were rather goal shy, weren't we? This was the season where Klaus Thompson was our top scorer with 5 or 6.
5 or 6, but not even be 5, no, it's fair to say, we were. They weren't. In fact, the only sort of time I saw it, obviously, spoiler this game, was we put 3 past Man United at home, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was probably the peak of our scoring.
Anomaly.
Yeah.
In terms of Southampton,
here we go.
Some names that we'd probably recognise here. Certainly in that back four, some Jeff Kenner and
I tell you what, there's some of those 3, Benali, Dodd, and Kenner. Add up their total appearances for Southampton, and I bet it's up there. I know Kenner
and the guy playing just behind the front too as well. You can stick in there, can't you?
Oh Christ, yeah. But look who's playing in centre mid. Look at that, the great Jim Magilton, who obviously left. Well, I'm saying obviously. We picked him up, he left Southampton maybe a season or so after that, and obviously went to Sheffield Wednesday, where we picked him up from. And the goalkeeper, of course, the much decorated Bruce Grobbelaar, obviously coming to the end of his career, part of that great Liverpool, several great Liverpool sides, but took over from Clements, the great Ray Clements at Liverpool, and is now plying his trade with Southampton. More of him in a bit.
Very professionally done.
There you go.
So yeah, in terms of goals, we've managed to find these goals. Rich managed to find these goals for us, which was nice.
Is always good.
They're not. Strangely, nowadays you think everything's available pretty much as it's happened. But even though this was a Premier League game, or we talk about Premier League games, very often the goals aren't around for us to see. But no, Rich has managed to find these. And this first one, we spoke about the Fanidi goal in the first half, potentially not crossing the line. I'm not sure Neil Maddison gets much of this header either. I think this might be a Steve Sedgley own goal.
Do you think? Yeah, it's a corner. It's a corner from the left in front of the North Stand, isn't it? Letizier sort of, swings it in right-footed, swings it away right foot. I think Chapman gets a really good in the air. Lee Chapman heads it out back to Letizier, chips it back in, and then you're right. It sort of just hangs there on a cluster of defenders and Neil Maddison. But Maddison sort of again is one of those ones. I mean, I think they get in the way perhaps of Forrest. Maddison gets his head on it, and it just loops in. But as you said, it might have been a bit of sedge in that as well, perhaps.
Yeah, I think 6'1" Steve Sedgley and 6'5" Craig Forrest are outjumped by 5'10" Neil Maddison.
Yeah, it probably sums up the season, probably.
And that was 1-0 at half time. But there was a comeback to come. The aforementioned Alex Matthey and aforementioned Bruce Grobbelaar, Dave.
Yeah.
Careful, the lawyers.
Oh no, I'm not going there. I mean, in fairness to Bruce, the pitch isn't at his best, is it? The pitch isn't at his best. In fairness to Bruce, but it's a pass back to Bruce, potentially I think from Richard Hall, local guy at some point over there. I think he lives in. I see him buzzing up and down in his car. Kesgrave, I think, obviously associated with us at some point. Certainly Cole Yu. He was perhaps caretaker manager at Cole Yu at some point, perhaps. I'm certainly on the coaching staff. Anyway, plays it back, and it's kind of in Grobbelaar sort of like panics, does he? He comes out, and I remember Bruce Grobbelaar, he's very much a right-footed goalkeeper. I mean, didn't really keepers, obviously, from what I've seen, keepers essentially kicked out from their hands back then. It goes to sort of kick it out from the edge of the box, left-footed. I think the phrase makes a hash of it, basically, and kicks it out, 30 yards to Alec Matthey. And it's quite good from Matthey, one, to get it under control. And he's got big old Ken Moncau at his back. But no, Matthey kills it, gets under control, takes it sort of like to the edge of the box and just sort of slides it as he's sliding, about to be tackled by Ken Moncau. Yeah. Slides into the corner. Yeah, good finish. Yeah, I can remember that. Good finish, that one.
And you said quite interesting about Grobbelaar. He kicks it from about 17 yards and only makes it to about 30 yards out. You reckon he only kicks it about 12 yards?
He stubs it. He stubs his toe. It looks like it's not good.
But he may have been one of those goalkeepers where he got caught out by the back pass rule suddenly coming into existence.
I think, and thinking back at that great Liverpool side, I can recall like Hansen and Lawrenson putting their foot on the ball, rolling it back to Bruce. He would pick it up, and he'd launch it up to Rush and Dalglish, and I can visualise that. Yeah. So 1-1 back in the game. Crowder up. Here we go.
Yeah, and here we did go. Lee Norfolk, lesser spotted Lee Norfolk, pops up on the right wing.
I think this was his debut as well. He comes on a sub. I think this is his debut as well. Which is quite a good goal. This actually, it's quite a good move, isn't it? I think Sedgley hits like a diagonal ball, just inside Southampton half from the left. Tanner gets up really well on the edge of the box, nods it down. I think to Matthey. This is a good goal actually, because Matthey then touches it wide, and it's a first time cross from Norfolk. And Chapman's, as you say, 6'2", 6'3", bruiser, goes up with Grobber, but not too, I guess, dissimilar to Maddison. Same position, well, maybe a bit further out, and just wins the header above Grobbelaar on the defender, and it nods it into an empty net, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, a proper muck and nettles header from Lee Chapman. Exactly the sort of header you expect Lee Chapman to be making, isn't it?
Well, I couldn't believe there was an interview with Chapman afterwards that Rich also kindly supplied. That was his 250th goal, he said. Lee Chapman.
That's the most important thing about this interview. He said this, didn't he? Lee Chapman raises the fact that
goals.
Lee Chapman has just scored his 250th goal.
But it's not about me. Yeah.
Right. I got very strong vibes of Patrick Bamford talking when Lee Chapman's talking. He's very, very well spoken, wasn't he, Lee Chapman?
Extremely well spoken. Yeah.
Very well spoken.
I think there's perhaps some elocution lessons there somewhere, because he's from Stoke Ridge, certainly played for Stoke Ridge. But
didn't he?
Yeah, of course that'd have been Lee Chapman. That'd have been, again, not going there. That'd been the Leslie Ash years, of course, I guess.
I think he still has the Leslie Ash years.
I think he perhaps still has. Yeah,
happily married.
Yeah.
Again, if the lawyers are or aren't watching. In terms of the league table, Dave, there we go. We jumped up.
Hey, look at that.
Up yours, Leicester.
Yeah, do one, Leicester. Yeah, who do you think you are? What also was interesting about those interviews afterwards, Craig, I know you saw them, was that Alec Mathie comment that almost that, there's some good players here, a good team. I think this should give us confidence. Perhaps we can, get enough points to get to safety. Well, all I can say is this game really didn't have the desired effect because in the following 8 games, sorry, let me get this right. Yeah, the following 8 games, we lost 8, scored 1 and conceded 27.
Yeah, I had a very similar stat that I had written down here to emphasise the point on strikers. Is that what would the next 7 games have in common? We wouldn't score a single. We wouldn't score a single goal.
It was the next goal was our mate, our pal in the Telegram group, innit? Kev Ellis's Arsenal game. That was the next goal. Ian Marshall goal when we were 4-0 down at Highbury. That was the next goal, and that was, as you said, 7 games later.
Yeah, and those next 7 games included a Man U 9-0, a Leeds 4-0, a Spurs 4-0, and a bloody Norwich 3-0. So, yeah,
there were some horrors, weren't there?
We were finding our level.
Well, we'd beaten Southampton, and I think the Man U game, date of this game, was literally is that right? Must have been a week or 2, only a week or 2 later, or 2 games later. May even been the following weekend, but maybe there was a game in the week. I don't know, but I can recall that being early March. That Man United game. Yeah, tough.
And on that positive note, we will end the Rewind show. And
with a win, though. With a win
against Southampton, exactly.
I think it's safe to say we would take a 2-1 win next weekend, wouldn't we?
I would take a Lee Chapman header. How old's Lee Chapman? He was 35 in 1995. So
he's about to collect his state pension. Almost. He's 65 then. Yeah. He's 60. Coming up for might be doing him a disservice there. But no, good stuff. That.
Yes, wonderful, brilliant stuff. Though, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. As ever, we'll be building up like we do to the weekend. Mikey and Ben will be putting their Premier League predictions out at some point, and then the guys will be back Thursday evening for the pre-match show leading up to the crucial.
Oof.
You going to say must win, Dave, or shall I say must win?
I think one of us has got to say it. You say it. I'm always saying it.
It's a must-win game against Southampton. Thank you for watching. As I say, thank you for listening. Give us a thumbs up, etc. This has been the Rewind Show from Blue Monday and Ipswich Town podcast. We shall see you next time.